we're going to talk about proportional lines. Proportional lines have some special characteristics. Before we talk about those characteristics, let's look at two different lines and find the coordinates or find some coordinates for these lines, and let's graph the lines. Once we have things graphed, we will talk about the special characteristics that makes lines proportional. So when I'm looking at graphing the line, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a value for x. Normally I start with 0. When x is 0, I'm going to plug it into the equation. 3 times 0 is 0. Then I'm going to plug in positive 1. And I'm going to plug in negative 1. So positive 1 times 3 gives me a positive 3. Negative 1 times 3 is going to give me a negative 3. So I have 3 points for this line. Now I'm going to do my second line. I'm going to look at the same starting number or starting value for x. If x is 0, 0 times negative 1/2 is 0. But instead of using 1, I'm going to use 2. If x is 2 and if x is negative 2. Instead of using 1, I'm going to use 2 because 1/2 times 2 is going to end up being 1. Negative 1/2 times 2 is going to end up being negative 1. And I'm looking to have whole numbers for my values, for my ordered pairs, just to make my life a little bit easier when I graph. If I put negative 2 in for x, negative 1/2 times 2 is going to be a positive 1. Negative times a negative is a positive. So now I have the values of my ordered pairs for everything. And I'm going to decide on a scale for my graphing. And my scale is going to be scale equals each line is 1/2. Okay, so my scale will be each line or each point on my grid is 1/2. So I'm going to start with 0, 0. I'm going to make this line purple so it's easier to see. So I start with 0, 0, which is the origin, and I plot that point. My next ordered pair is 1, 3. So I go over 1, up 3. My next ordered pair is negative 1, negative 3. And again, each line represents 1/2. And I'm going to plot this line, making sure to change the color, because I want to make sure that my lines are different colors. So I can see them. Okay, doesn't have to be perfect. So now I'm going to do my second line. I'm going to make this one green. Again, I start with my origin, 0, 0. And my first point is the right 2, down negative 1. My second point is to the left 2 and up positive 1. I'm going to draw a line connecting those points. Again, changing the color so that I have 2 distinct lines. Okay. So let's look at these lines and talk about why these lines are proportional. The first thing I want to show you is that both of these lines go through the origin. So when a line goes through the origin, it is proportional. The second thing I want to show you is when I look at my ordered pairs, I can write them as ratios. So I have 1/3 as a ratio, and I have negative 1 over negative 3 as a ratio. Well, a negative over a negative makes the fraction a positive. And when I'm looking at ratios, or if I'm turning my ordered pairs into ratios, they will be the same number. They will be the same ratio. Let's look at our other line. 2 over negative 1. Negative 2 over positive 1. Okay? The negative sign can be either the numerator or the denominator. It doesn't matter because that makes the whole ratio or the whole fraction negative. So when you have proportional lines, they go through the origin and the ratio of the ordered pairs will be the same. Lines are proportional if they pass through the origin and if the points on the line simplify to the same ratio. So when you see an equation of a line in the format where y equals mx, you know that the line is proportional.